It's one of those buildings that people either love or hate, but most people in Leeds, I think it's a tremendous contribution to the urban space and to the skyline.
This is Broadcasting Place. This is the Arts and Humanities faculty for Leeds Beckett University, combined with Leeds Baptist Church and the residential tower of 240 student bedrooms.
The challenges were the urban context, very difficult, busy roads and urban motorway. The listed buildings, we've got the Friends Meeting House there and the Unitarian Church. And the other challenge, I suppose, was the need to create a very dense form of urban development. The idea of creating a piece of city for the university, and a piece of the university for the city, really. One starting point, at least, was the idea that this had to be a very simple plan form that could adapt itself easily to different uses.
I think the fact that it is open and there's the exposed concrete, it allows us to play with it. The intervisibility between undergraduate and postgraduate and the city outside makes it even more interesting.
So it's a 15-metre wide strip that kind of follows the irregular pattern of the site. And that gives us quite a sculptural form in any case, you know, because it's going in and out. And I think it's got 17 different facades, this building, hasn't it? All of the same sort of material, all different heights.
Part of the dialogue with English Heritage was actually introducing an element of architectural rationale into a very simple sculptural form, and that dialogue between the two extremes, I think, actually helped it to fit much more comfortably in with its neighbours in the end.
Right from the start, we were really interested in Corten as a material, weren't we? That there's something that was a very strong contrast to the white stone. And this forms a kind of rusting steelwork, which actually has an amazing glow, particularly in the westerly sunlight here. And this forms a really rich red backdrop of the stone building, but also sympathetic to Leeds in terms of the tonality of the material, because it kind of fits in with the more red brick backdrop to Woodhouse Lane, etc.
And I think what it managed to do was to, as you say, pick up on some of those brick tones. It picked up on the sort of wider industrial heritage for the city, but also how we then sculpted it into this more dramatic form, I think was also borrowing from the wider landscape, you know, the moors and the hills, and how some of those weathered rock formations actually could make their presence felt in the city that was actually home to the Henry Moores and the Hepworths, you know, in terms of that sort of sculptural heritage for the wider West Riding. I think it's helped connect the city and the university together a bit more. And I think since we've worked on this project and since it's been built, there is sort of development coming forward in that area which is helping to do some of this stitching that Peter was referring to. So even if we may not be able to bridge over the inner ring road, you can bring those two pieces back together a bit better.
We talk about sort of core principles of social and environmental architecture, but there's all kinds of ways in which those core principles can be interpreted. And I think this was a new interpretation and a very exciting interpretation for us. And great for the city, you know, it seems to have been really welcomed.